Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarashi Sarvada Om Ganganapade Namaha. Dhyanamulam Gurur Murti Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mokshamulam Gurur Krupa. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 20th of July 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to the one Supreme Parabrahma Paramatma residing in the heart of every single being at all times and all places. By the grace of Bhagavan Sri Krishna Paramatma and Sri Radhika Ji, we are continuing our study and careful examination of the 9 forms of bhakti and the 10th bhakti this month particularly. The 10th bhakti is called the Prem-Lakshana Bhakti. Along those lines, we have been looking at various ideas such as the Sandhini Shakti, the Samvit Shakti, the Haladini Shakti. All 3 of these are critical in terms of the bhakta developing the intensity of relationship with one's Ishta Devata. As we have been saying, just a quick review, that Radhika Ji opens the door into Mahabhav. She has supreme ecstasy. Again, this word ecstasy is alright, we can use that word. It is Mahabhav. It is Bhav, meaning our emotions have taken a dimensional jump into a Gunatit state beyond Sattva Gun, as has been talked about on several occasions already. So to continue further along these lines, as we were saying that liberation, what is mukti? You know, in the tradition of bhakti or in the path of para bhakti, what is liberation? So liberation involves transitioning from marginal consciousness, which is steeped in dualistic ajnan or avidya, into the subjective horizon of enlightened cognition, samvit, fully saturated and driven by divine ecstasy, haladini. Let's look at this sentence carefully. This is a way that Jiva Goswami, one of the great Vaishnava acharyas, has explained this point. What is liberation? For a great bhakta, what exactly is this? How can we understand it? So, these are called theological dialectics. That means that the faith in Paramatma, that theology that has been developed. Theology is there even in the Hindu tradition. Theology refers to this knowledge of how God exists, how Bhagavan functions, and then the liberation process also. So there's another a name for that called soteriology, that is the science of liberation. These are all terms, this word theology, soteriology, theodicy, these are all terms from the Christian religion, but they can be used here also without any problem. No, it's the same concepts. So, the way Jiva Goswami, one of the great Vaishnava acharyas, talked about this is that liberation thus involves transitioning from marginal consciousness. This is where we are now. You know, we meaning humanity is within this marginal consciousness, which is what? What is marginal consciousness? It is steeped in avidya, in ignorance, in dualities of all different kinds, dualistic ignorance. It's a beautiful way to put this point here. Dualistic ajnan hai isme. That is called marginal consciousness. What is this dualistic ignorance? Well, it exists at different levels. Let's talk about that for a moment before we get to the enlightened cognition. What is dualistic ignorance? So first of all, the word ignorance is referring to avidya. So there's 2 words, vidya and avidya. Vidya means seeing truth or the path that takes us to seeing satyam, truth as it is. That is called vidya. Avidya is that which binds us into that which is not true, that which is false, that which is a projection, that which is ultimately unreal, that which is within the realm of Maya, etc. That is called avidya. So there's a distinction between the path that opens through vidya and there's a path that opens through avidya. There are 2 different paths. Now, is avidya a path also? Yes. Of course, it is a path that binds the individual further into Ajnan. So many examples are there. Sometimes we, as human beings, we have some anger towards somebody. And then that person says something back to us. The anger increases and it increases. Or sometimes we keep thinking, manan uska karte, it keeps boiling up inside. What is this? This is following a path of avidya. It keeps increasing. You see, so those who are aware of how avidya works recognize that that is not a path towards liberation. That is a path towards degradation and bondage. And that is a path where there is greater and greater dualistic ajnan, dualistic ignorance. You see, so before we can move by the grace of God into Prem-Bhakti, this path of vidya needs to be 100% open, not 99%. And that's where the trouble begins. We may know scriptures, we might have taken so many sadhanas or done so many different things, but as time goes on, our root level ajnan still somewhere remains, and that flips the person back into avidya. It is a recognition. Why this is happening to me? What is happening? And then the ahankar that comes with that. Within avidya, there is ahankar to continue those kinds of experiences that the ego wants. Again, examples are just endless number of examples. It is the recognition of binding. Binding is where we are stuck somewhere in some experience. This is what is called vasana also. It can happen like at night time, right? So for example, you see some, let's just say, you go to a car dealership with a friend, or you go somewhere, you see some attractive object, something that really attracts. Kuch bhi ho sakta hai. It could be some clothing or some piece of jewelry or something like that. Person feels very attracted towards that, but is not getting it. The fulfillment of the desire is not there for some reason. But the attraction is very strong for anything. It could be towards another person, towards object, towards cars, towards XYZ. And you didn't get that, but you want some kind of experience from that person, from that object, from that place, etc. Like a tourist place. Some people like to go to very expensive tourist places. I want to go there. I'm attracted to going there, but I cannot go there for whatever reason. Okay. Look at how avidya works here. The attraction is happening simply because there is the lack of realization of the Brahman, of the Atma. The attractions, the pulling back and forth would not happen at all once you realize the fountain of Haladini Shakti, the Anandam. Then there's no question of getting attracted to the objects of the world. They remain, they're not going to disturb anybody. They don't disturb the yogi, the bhakta at all. उसके साथ कोई बंधन नहीं रहता, attraction भी नहीं होता, repulsion भी नहीं होता. It is there. You see it for what it is. इसका एक experience है. If you see a glittering diamond, you see the glittering diamond. But the internal bhav for that, how nice this is and how bad something is, this is dualistic ajnan. Not easy, right? If you have a handful of mud and a handful of diamonds, to see them with equal vision, samaloshtashma kanchana Gita, Bhagavad Gita. How difficult. Of course, you don't treat them the same way because of the way the world works, but they're only parts of the earth. The enlightened sage sees them as only parts of the world. One is not attracted or repulsed in either situation. He recognizes it for what it is. Or Ananda is in bhakti. It is not in these diamonds or in these other things. If I say that I'm going to find Ananda through these objects, no, those objects will create an experience. If there's attraction, the sparkling, the glitter, how nice. That's a Rajsik, Rajogun ka anubhav hai. Wo Maya ka anubhav hai. It is there. It's real. No doubt. Obviously it is there. We cannot deny that. We should not deny that also. But there is a recognition of dualistic ajnan. Dvanda titam gagana sadrusham. The dvanda mein kaisa, how the mind has gotten ensnared inside the dualities. So the dualities are constantly surrounding us. And we meaning even during the time of sadhana, as we are all doing sadhana, all of us online, as others listening to these talks, in other places also, we're all together in the spiritual journey. People who are doing sadhana or in the time of sadhana, there is going to be difficulty, definitely. Because the mind is getting pulled in different directions. The sadhak wants to connect with Paramatma. But then the vasanas are not gone. They have not been transmuted, so they get pulled the person in some other direction. वो इसको साधन दशा कहते हैं. It's 2 points, साधन दशा or siddha dasha. Dasha may be a Gujarati word. I don't know if it's a Hindi word or Marathi word. I'm not sure about that. But definitely in Gujarati that word is there. Dasha means it's a state. We're in that state of doing sadhana. Yes. We want to get out of that state. We don't want to be stuck in sadhana. As quickly as possible, we want out of sadhana. Completely out of sadhana. Why? Because in sadhana, there is still the doing, that I am doing sadhana. Please don't misunderstand. The sadhana that are there, they're no longer sadhana anymore once we are transcended sadhana by grace of God. They are naturally happening. It's not that Sachin has to now do bhakti. वो एक स्थिति एक अलग है. वो जो प्रेम लक्षणा भक्ति, इसमें कोई साधना नहीं है. There is no doing sadhana. There is the natural, continuous, uninterrupted flowing of bhakti. There is no doing of bhakti. That's a difference. It is a difference between doing bhakti and bhakti flowing. इसमें फर्क है. Think of it this way. If I'm thirsty, I turn on the water faucet, right? I have to make some effort to turn the water faucet on, and water comes out of the water. That is sadhana. But if I'm standing at the base of the Horseshoe Falls, Niagara Falls, tremendous amount of water is falling. That is Prem-Lakshana Bhakti. You see the difference? And if you can see this as a simple analogy, if you go to Niagara Falls sometime, they have this tour, right? You can go in the boat. They put this jacket on, this raincoat, and go in the Maid of the Mist boat and go in the front of that when they take you to the Horseshoe Fall, the Canadian Fall. I had that experience. That's why I'm sharing it with you. It's on several occasions, many years back. And when you're standing in front, it's just you and this extraordinary dropping of water. It's indescribable. It's an incredible dropping of water. Itna power isme, itna saundarya is. Which sadhana is there? If somebody says, let me turn on, what is the difference between Sachin turning on a faucet in the kitchen versus the Niagara Falls? Isna farak nahi hai isme. Pani to wahi hai. It's fresh water. But isn't there a difference? Prem-Lakshana Bhakti is that Niagara Falls, this tremendous flood of Mahabhav. इसको प्रेम भक्ति कहते हैं. वो हमारा destination है. Then somebody says, okay, here, you take a glass of water. I said, ठीक है, glass of water, we respect that. That is sadhana. When the endless amount of water is falling, endless amount of amrutam is floating and flowering and flowing constantly inside the mind, body, senses without any break. इसको अमृत धाम कहते हैं. We enter into the abode of God even while we're living. If it is as if we are in the abode of God, in the dham, Bhagavad Dham mein hi hai, even though we're living here. That is the actual goal. So if we keep this in mind, that we want to be a Jivan Mukta, we want to be a liberated being completely, liberation प्राप्त करना है भगवान की दया से, उनकी कृपा से ये ऐसी स्थिति प्राप्त करनी है, तो कर सकते क्यों नहीं? Why not? Why cannot it not be done? Of course. But again, all of the obstacles that are hindering, they have to be put aside. Not 99 out of 100 obstacles, 100 out of 100 have to be put aside. If they are not all put aside, that Mahabhav doesn't open. Then you wind up in Yoga Bhrashta, lifetime after lifetime in Satsang. Satsang mein hi janam hota hai. The people, they revolve inside as yoga, they live in the sansar, being born again in different spiritual families again and again and again and again. I say, hey, there are kids that are born in very highly spiritual families. Why is that? Because of the past janma. They have not finished their sadhana, so they have to take birth again. They're yoga bhrashta. And because they're yoga bhrashta, they have to continue their sadhana from where they left off. And Bhagwan Krishna gives the guarantee that my bhakta is never lost. Wherever you have left off, you will pick up there. That situation he will create so you can continue your journey further. Now, we have a choice. I'm telling this mind only, Sachin's mind, not anybody else. There's a choice to be made every hour of every day. Do we want to go into this long-winded, become Yog Bhrashtas at lifetime after lifetime after lifetime? Or do we want to be Jivan Mukta now? We can be. Why not? Why there's any delay? Ek hi quality chahiye isme. Only one quality is needed. That is Akhand Prem. Akhanda Sharanagati, continuous connection with Paramatma, giving over the ahankar, letting go of all the vasanas, letting go of all of the abhiman, letting go of all of the rag and dvesha, dualistic ignorance, all of this thing in one shot, with one leaf, with one flower, offer it at Radhika ji and end it. Finish it once and for all. Don't bring it back. Say, I'm offering my love to you, and all of this agnan, you please take it away. Ask and you shall receive. Knock and the door shall be opened. Does Sachin ask this? Sometimes we think we are asking that. But how deeply is it being asked? It's not just verbally some prarthana is done. It's not like that. That's okay. We don't want to be in sadhana. We want out of sadhana completely. So you take one flower, just literally take one rose. That is enough for enlightenment. Nothing more is required. But how to do this? Kiski tayari hai? Karna hai? Kar sakte hai. This is how I'll show you right now. By the grace of Bhagwan Krishna, I'll show you right now. Sachin will show you. You take a rose. Take it from your garden. Get it from the store somewhere. Take a nice shower and everything. भगवान कृष्ण और राधिका जी की मूर्ति और इष्ट देवता जो भी है उनके आगे बैठना and bring inside extraordinary sharanam. Sri Krishna sharanam mama. I am 100% yours, not 99%. मेरी कोई वासना बिसना नहीं है, कोई अहंकार नहीं, कुछ भी नहीं है, मेरा कोई है ही नहीं. There's nobody that is mine except you. There's no shelter except you. There is no truth except you. There is no satyam except you. There is no form except you. आकार मात्र, जिसके जितने माया में आकार है, आपका आकार ही सत्य है. मुझे भी न जान जो रे बीचा माइक सो आकार प्रीति तोड़ जो रे झूठा जानी कुटुंब परिवार. कितने कुटुंब परिवार हो गए, सब छोड़ दो इसको. मन में से छोड़ना, नॉट बाय रिलेशनशिप. ऐसे अनंत जन्म हो गए, अनंत पेरेंट्स हो गए, मदर फादर चिल्ड्रन अनंत बार हुए हैं. इसमें कोई नया बात नहीं. शंकराचार्य जी के वचन में विश्वास होना चाहिए. पुनरपि जननम पुनरपि मरणम पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम. 36 verses of Bhaja Govindam. Bring it all inside with one flower. That's why Bhagwan Krishna says patram pushpam phalam toyam. He didn't say in the Gita, you offer, write $100 million check to me, then I will give you liberation. That's not what is written in the Gita. It has to do with this absolute internal realization that Paramatma hi satya hai. All other forms, including this form, this body, ye jo sharir ka jo aakar hai, it is just a cover. Vasansi jiranani yatha vyay. It's a cloth only, like a cloth. Just as we change clothes every day, similarly bodies are changed. इसमें विश्वास, भगवद गीता में पूरा विश्वास होना चाहिए कि परम सत्य है. 100% it is real. There's not even the slightest doubt in that. Bring all this inside. And then, Mai avesh mano imam nitya yukta upasate. Take that flower with intense shraddha in the archa swarup. कि तुम ही सत्य हो, तुम ही, only you are present. Then wherever may I look, may this bhakta look, only see you only and nobody else. And when we offer this flower, and with this internal shakti, internal bhav, internal bhakti, with phenomenal shraddha that वो भगवान स्वयं है, इसमें कोई doubt नहीं है. In the archa, in the murti of Radhika ji and Sri Krishna, no doubt is there that they are actually present. There's no doubt that there's any stone or anything like that, or painting, or remove all that thing is gone. Then take that one flower, and literally with all of one's shakti, bhakti, jnana, offer that place it at the feet of Radhika ji. Why? That's end of story. If you bypassed everything, all the karmas are gone, all of the future lifetimes are gone, everything is destroyed in one shot. अभी ये करना है और बहुत जन्म लेने हैं. जैसी जिसकी, if Sachin has different vasanas, ichhas, भगवान कहते कोई बात नहीं. You take more lifetimes, continue. You want other things other than me? Continue in this Brahmand. You want me plus these things? Become a yog brashta. Take another 100 lifetimes. Or you can end it now. There's always a direct path in the present, outside of psychological time, outside of the law of karma theory. Karma virma ka kuch influence nahi rehta isme. Not at all. They get obliterated. Karma nahi aate hi nahi after this is done. This is the Gopikas. This Sachin what describing to you, ye Bhagavatam ka incident hai. Gopikas said, we touch the feet of Sri Krishna one time, we are enlightened. Finish. Ek baar, just one time that sparsha ho gaya. But they are in that heightened connection and recognition, like all these things that Sachin just described. They have all that and so much more also. It's all inside. We cannot describe all of it. And when you go to Paramatma with all of that and touch the feet, even if you don't have a flower, touch with your right hand, literally the feet of Sri Radhika ji, both feet. Enough. There's nothing more. There is absolutely nothing more. और क्या चाहिए? But it has to do with the intensity, the absolute surrender towards the Paramatma, Bhagavan. And when that happens, then something extraordinary happens at that point. That sadhana ends. Koi sadhan bidhan, koi nahi rehta. There's no sadhana. There's no coming and going from temples. Not at all. Anywhere you go, there is temple. Any place you go, there is temple. You go for a walk in the park, Bhagwan ka hi ishavasyam idam sarva. ऐसी अलौकिक स्थिति बन जाती है. And then, with that offering of the one flower, don't take back, the bhakt, recognize if the ahankar shows up, vasana show up, if these things show up again, that is not me. Nijatmanam brahma rupam dehatraya vilakshanam. Shikshapatri, 116th shlok. वो मैं नहीं हूँ. This is the whole point of Advaita Vedanta. मैं कौन हूँ और मैं क्या नहीं हूँ. This is the whole ball game of spirituality. When those individualized desires show up, taking us deflected in some other place, remember that flower again and come and offer it from the mind again, that flower. And that is the only thing to be done at that point. That is to maintain that initial connection, initial link, and not to break it. Our ahankar, our vasanas, they keep breaking. But if the mind is given over, then it is not taken back. Think of it this way. When we actually offer a flower in the temple to a murti of Bhagavan, do we say that, okay, I'm offering it to you, but I want you to, I'm taking it back. I don't want you to have it anymore. ऐसा नहीं होता. We offer it and we leave it there. Then if the pujari says, okay, as a prasadam, you can have it, back. That's a different matter. But we don't say, I'm giving it to you, now you have to give me something, you have to give, I'm taking it back. You see how simple this is? We can offer, Sachin can say, I'm offering my mind, my senses, my vritti, my this, my that, everything to you. But then give another 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, we are ready to take it back. He says, no, this is not the time. The Bhagwan kehte, koi baat, you take another lifetime. There's no rush to come to me. If you really want to come to me, don't take all this thing back. You stay with me. Do all of your actions. Then the beauty happens. Beauty is what? All of the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, इसमें हमारा जो मन है, भगवान की जो भक्ति, it will just remain. You begin to see the entire play of Maya in the light of Paramatma. The same activity continues. Still you have food, water, clothing, shelter, family, this, that. Nothing changes in that way. That doesn't change, but the entire inner vision changes. This dualistic ignorance is gone, and we can see the play of Maya, and one has been evolved like a lotus flower outside the play of Maya completely. And as a result of that, jo jag mein rahu, so jaise rahu, jal mein kamal ka phool rahe, that jal kamal, that lotus flower blossoming, and in that blossomed state as the Brahman, as the Atman, as the Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, the bhakti continues towards Paramatma, while recognizing millions of beings are born and gone, nitya pralay, naimittik pralay, prakrut pralay, आत्यंतिक प्रलय, ये सब पूरा हमारे अंतकरण में आ जाता है और जीवन मुक्त स्थिति बन जाती है. अब इसके बाद I will continue on this tomorrow. I have gone way over time as usual. Sorry about that. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvigram Kurume Deva Sarvakarachu Sarvadam Ganganapate Namaha. Om Trambakam Yajame Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityar Mukshayamamritat. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Sarvamangala Mangale Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanitrambake Devi Narayani Namostate. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Aim Swaha Hrim Swaha Klim Swaha Durge Durge Rakshini Tha Tha Swaha. Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu. Om Hrim Swaha.